This is the story of a woman who turned gas station receipts into a $27.3 million fashion empire. At 24, she drove strangers around the city for 12 hours a day, with $73 in her checking account and a trunk full of dreams nobody could see. 6 years later, her fashion brand was worn by celebrities, sold in 3,000 stores worldwide, and featured on every major runway. But the numbers don't tell you about the passenger who told her she'd never be anything but a driver, or the night she decided the backseat conversations would fuel a front-row empire. Her name was Selena, and at 24, she knew every street in the city but had no clear path for herself. She drove for Uber, Lyft, whatever app would keep her moving 10 to 12 hours daily, picking up strangers, listening to their lives, while hers felt stuck in neutral. After gas, car maintenance, and app fees, she averaged $23 an hour on good days. Bad days meant 14. The $73 in her account represented 1 week of extreme discipline, eating dollar menu meals, sleeping in her car between rides to save on rent sometimes, saying no to everything that wasn't survival. But Selena had a secret obsession. She studied every passenger's style. She noticed what people wore, what they complained about, what was missing from their wardrobes. During airport rides, she'd scroll fashion blogs at red lights. During long highway trips, she'd sketch clothing designs on napkins she kept in her glove compartment. At night, after smelling like car air freshener and exhaustion, she researched fashion manufacturing on her phone. She watched videos about starting clothing lines, studied successful fashion brands, learned about fabric sourcing and production. She was teaching herself to become a fashion designer, while the world saw her as just another gig worker. One night, a wealthy passenger looked at her dismissively and said, "You'll probably do this forever. People like you don't really go anywhere." Selena smiled in the rearview mirror, said nothing, and made a silent vow. "I'm going to build a fashion brand so successful that people like you will beg to wear it and never know I once drove you home." The breaking point came from pure observation. Selena noticed her female passengers constantly complained about the same thing: affordable clothes that actually fit curves, looked expensive but weren't, and worked for both day and night. She had $73, barely enough for samples, but enough for faith. She spent $61 on basic fabric samples from a downtown wholesaler. She spent $12 on a used sewing machine from Facebook Marketplace. In her car between rides, she sketched. In her tiny apartment at midnight, she sewed. She created her first pizza bodycon dress that hugged curves, looked designer, but cost a fraction of luxury prices. She called it Selena Couture and made 8 dresses. She wore one while driving and got 5 compliments in one night. She posted the others on Instagram with photos taken against her apartment wall. Within 4 days, she sold all 8 dresses for $65 each through Instagram DMs, making $520 profit. More than 2 full days of driving, made between rides and sleep. The voice in her head said she was crazy. But another voice whispered, "What if you're not selling dresses? What if you're selling the confidence women can't find in stores?" That first month, Selena made $943 selling dresses while still driving 70-hour weeks. She reinvested everything: better fabrics, better designs, better production. She taught herself garment construction, pattern making, social media marketing, all from free YouTube videos at 3 a.m. At 25, her side business was making $5,000 monthly. Not enough to quit driving, but enough to see a future. She expanded her line bodysuits, jumpsuits, 2-piece sets. Everything she created solved problems she'd heard in her back seat. Every piece was designed for real women with real curves. By 27, her monthly revenue hit $24,000. She finally stopped driving. Her last passenger asked what she'd do next. Selena smiled and said, "I'm about to dress the world." She rented a small showroom, hired 3 employees, all former gig workers who understood hustle. Her brand, Selena Couture, became known for curves celebrating fashion, affordable luxury, and pieces that made women feel expensive without the luxury price tag. At 28, her annual revenue reached $9.7 million. Fashion influencers were wearing her pieces. Boutiques were calling. Major retailers wanted in. The same world that had dismissed her as just a driver was now chasing her designs. At 29, everything exploded. A major celebrity wore her yellow, crystal-embellished outfit, similar to what she now designs, to an awards show. Social media went insane. The piece sold out in 43 minutes. Her website crashed from traffic from 92 countries. She had to move into a proper manufacturing facility and hire 147 employees. Nordstrom called. Bloomingdale's called. Fashion Week invited her. International retailers fought for exclusive rights. By 29, her products were in 3,000 stores across 64 countries. Her team grew to 318 employees. Revenue reached $21.6 million. She'd created 573 designs, each one celebrating women's bodies, the way stores refused to. She didn't just build a fashion brand. She built a movement. Her marketing featured real curves on real women. Her prices were accessible because she remembered living in her car. Her hiring priority was gig workers and people the fashion world overlooked. At 30, her fashion empire was valued at $27.3 million. She owned 69% of her company. The Uber driver with $73 had built something the fashion industry couldn't ignore. One evening at Fashion Week, Selena saw her, the passenger, the one who'd said people like you don't really go anywhere. The woman was in the audience at Selena's runway show, wearing a Selena couture dress, taking photos for Instagram. She didn't recognize Selena. Why would she? Drivers are invisible, forgotten once you exit the car. After the show, Selena approached her. "I love that dress on you. Where did you get it?" "Selena Couture. It's my favorite brand," the woman gushed. "I'm Selena, the designer. You once rode in my Uber and told me I'd probably drive forever, that people like me don't go anywhere. I went home that night and designed the first dress. Thank you for the motivation. That'll be full price, though no friends and family discount." The woman's face went from confusion to horror to speechless recognition. Selena walked away, her yellow, crystal-embellished outfit catching every camera flash. She didn't need an apology. Her $27.3 million empire spoke louder than that woman's dismissal ever could. What Selena learned changed, not just her bank account, but her entire soul. 1. Your car can transport more than passengers. It can transport dreams between shifts if you refuse to let circumstances define you. 2. Every insult is either poison or fuel. Choose which. She chose fuel and built an empire from it. 3. The best fashion comes from people who've dressed real bodies, not just mannequins. She understood curves because she celebrated her own. 4. You don't need fashion school. You need vision, hustle, and the courage to sew at midnight between Uber rides. 5. Gig work teaches adaptability and hustle, but building something that's yours teaches ownership and power. 6. The people who tell you you'll never be anything will eventually wear what you create without knowing. That's the universe's sense of humor. Right now, someone watching this is driving for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, grinding in the gig economy, wondering if this is the ceiling. You're transporting others toward their dreams while yours sit in the trunk. Let Selena's story whisper to the part of you that refuses to stay behind the wheel forever. Your empire is waiting between rides. If this story reminded you that your current gig doesn't define your destination, smash that like button. Subscribe for more gig work to empire transformations. Comment your business idea you've been sketching between rides. Share with every driver who has dreams bigger than their route. Your fashion empire starts tonight. Design it between rides. Sew it after shifts. Launch it while they sleep.